Cubo or Wipro? Both these are 10 amp smart plugs. Which one should you go for? Let's find out in this detailed video review. Welcome back. So two smart plugs from two big companies. One is made by Wipro, one is made by Hero Industries, and it's called Cubo. So Wipro has been out in the market with these smart plugs for quite some time. I also made a review for the 16 amp plug. Both these work with Google and Alexa without any problem. So they have their own apps which make them unique. Although the devices look similar, maybe the hardware is also similar. I'll also show you where they're made. So for example, this one's made in Telangana, and the funny thing is Wipro is also a plug which is manufactured in the same organization. So you can see that it says Wipro Enterprises plot number 4A and B ECIL, and you'll see the address on the right corner there. It says manufactured on 4A B ECIL. So I guess these are all made by Wipro, or there's another manufacturer who's doing this and selling out to these two guys. So the best part is the Cubo plug is available at a much lower cost as compared to the Wipro, and I'll leave links in the description for these guys. Both plugs have energy monitoring, and they also have a beautiful app which lets you schedule stuff. I found the Cubo app a little buggy. We'll come to the app a little later. So let's open the Cubo box right now. So again, Cubo is made by, I think it's owned by the Hero group. So there is some brand value involved here in terms of Cubo as well as Wipro. So opening the box, you can see that these are very similar. I'll tell you why. So if I pick up the Wipro plug, obviously I opened the Wipro plug some time back, so it is open already. The Cubo one here on the right has a different design, slightly squarish look, but look at the triangular shape inside of this packaging. It's the same one which is also in the Wipro plug. Now the other aspect which has changed is the design, external design. But size-wise, both the boxes are exactly, dimensionally accurate. And look at this. If you look at even the print, Wipro and Qubo looks like they've been printed with the same machine, and even the plug point has the same size cutouts. Even the buttons are similar, although the design is a little different for the Wipro. And look at the print at the back. So it says smart plug and the rating. They're very similar in terms of how they've labeled, and they also have manufacturing dates on them. Even the pin shape looks very similar. In the thickness wise, I can also say that it has a similar feel. Materials are the same. But the Cubo one is cheaper. It's probably because it's a new product, but I'm sure they're going to have the same price in some time. Okay, so smart plug from Cubo. Which one do you think looks better? The Wipro one or the Cubo one? Again, more similarities when you see it close by. So let's plug it into the wall, and you can see that both of them fit firmly in an Indian plug, so no problem as such. And they all have a small indicator on the left side when the button is pressed on or if the device is switched on. And let's put the Wipro, and now it's the Cubo's turn here. And again, you can see that the blue light is on, and there is light bleed from the front. You can see that from the front. You can see that there's a blue light which is flashing in. Both apps are available on Android as well as iOS. I'm going to use the Android version of these. So installing the Cubo app will require you to register with a Google account or put your email address. Once you do that, all you need to do is just go down to smart plugs, and I'm selecting the 10 amps. So once you select this, make sure that the plug is blinking. So like I showed you, the light was blinking when I plugged it in. So it will find the device very quickly. Unlike previous days, these days smart plugs get paired very fast. So it's as simple as that, and it's asking you to associate this plug with a Wi-Fi network. Once you do that, you can rename the device. You can call it whatever you want. If it's a geyser, or if it's a water filter, or if it's tube light, just name it. And I saw a small glitch on the Cubo app. It just started bouncing like this, and then I had to exit it and then come back, and it was fine. So now, I didn't ask for an Alexa pairing, but it actually threw up this notice box saying that, do you want to pair it with Alexa immediately? I guess it's become so common for apps to have an association with home automation devices straight away. So yeah, I said okay, and it got associated with Alexa very quickly. So very nice interface. I think this is a little more brighter. Wipro uses a slightly darker version of their app. I'll show you that in a second. The interface though is a little similar. You have the big power button there which you can switch on and switch off this plug. And you can see three main things which they're focused on: scheduling, countdown, and energy monitoring. So yeah, when you want to schedule this, it's very useful to have a plug on schedule, because you might want to run, let's say, an RO water filter every morning, every afternoon and evening. You can set up a schedule for that. And this is a very useful feature which all smart plugs have. And how easy it is to use is what I think makes a difference here. So yeah, here it's just like setting an alarm or a countdown timer on your smartphone. So if you just put it as hours or minutes, it'll set up a countdown timer, and the device can switch on if it's switched off, and if it's already on and you put a countdown timer, it'll switch it off. That's how it works. So yeah, it looks quite intuitive. Let's also see what are the settings they have. So apparently this app is built for a lot of other products, so I'm only using it for a smart plug. And they also have something called as upgraded service in terms of something else, but I didn't explore that as such. It can work with a regular basic app. And here's the energy monitoring page. I'll do a detailed comparison a little later on this one. So the countdown timer is still running. And yeah, when you go to the home page, like I mentioned, right now I only have one Cubo device. That's a smart plug. You can add a lot of devices to a single room. Maybe they have few advanced devices coming up in the future, like Cubo lights and stuff like that. But right now it's just one device in one living room, which is this smart plug. Jumping on to the Wipro app, this is how the home page looks on the Wipro app. Not very intuitive, but once you get into the app device, or whichever you have, it shows you a power button right in front. Slightly different interface. Here they have a lot more options. For example, you have countdown, you have scheduling, you have circulate mode, you have a random mode if you want to go out of station, for example. And then there's inching mode. This will, if you read this, it says it'll put your device to sleep as soon as you turn it on. It's very useful for geysers. Apparently this is a 10 amp plug, but if you have this on a geyser, it's very useful. Right? I mean, you can just say no matter how many times somebody switches on something, it'll switch off in 60 minutes. So I think that's a great feature. But unfortunately, this doesn't come in the 16 amp version. It's really sad. And they also have astronomical, where it'll turn on, let's say, parking lights during sunset, and then switch it off during sunrise. So the Wipro app seems to be a little more detailed here as compared to the Cubo app. Another good feature, overcharge mode, which means if you're not using the device and if it's consuming less than 3 watts for 40 minutes, the device will switch off. So useful if something is not working but you still want to switch it off, like you tell. So you'll notice that the Cubo app doesn't have such features like child lock and getting something like your overcharge mode. It's not actually over here. But they do give you a lot of details about what software it's using and everything else over here very easily. I didn't find this so easy to find on the Wipro app though, but you can get details of your hardware over here. They also have routines in the Cubo app. For example, they have a Cubo lock, which means if you unlock your door, you can put on your lights. So all these are, based on how you use the app and you get used to using these features. But there are things like this included in the Cubo app. So some things included in the Wipro app, some things are missing in the Cubo app. Side by side, you can see the energy monitoring. The one on the left is a Wipro app, of course, homepage, and then you go to energy monitoring. Here it gives you different readings from the device itself, like the amount of current being drawn, the voltage, the amount of kilowatts per hour being used. I've installed about 4 bulbs each on both of these together right now as we speak, and you can see the amount of power drawn. And there's also a monthly graph. In fact, Cubo takes it a step further to show you different types of graph based on time and units consumed. Wipro, on the other hand, gives you a good view of monthly breakup and stuff like that as to how much you've used in different months. So testing this on your Alexa devices, I just plugged these both together and I just want to show you how similar they look. Even the lights are actually blue for both the buttons. And if you have some sort of an extension box like this one, I just want to show you that both will actually work easily because they've designed it in such a way that it will fit 2 in one of these heavy duty plug point boxes. So let's see an Alexa test over here. So these are connected to Alexa. I mean, by default, once you install the app, it lets you connect to Alexa. So let's see whether these work, right? So Alexa, can you switch on the Cubo plug? Switch on. Let's see what she says.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, can you switch off Cubo plug?
Okay.
Nothing happened. Alexa, can you switch off Cubo plug?
Okay.
Alexa, can you switch off Wipro plug?
Okay.
Obviously connected to that tube. This Cubo thing is giving me problems here. Alexa, switch off Cubo plug.
Okay.
There you go, it works. It's probably because of the name, but then I tried changing the name to different combinations, but it still was giving this issue. Alexa, switch on Cubo plug.
Okay.
Works now. Alexa, can you switch on Wipro plug?
Okay.
There you go. Tube is actually on. So it works fine. I mean, it's very easy to pair it with your Google or your Alexa devices, and they work great. By the way, if there's no internet connection, you can use the physical buttons on these devices to switch on and switch off the device manually. So which one should you go for? Well, both are physically the same devices with different designs on the outside. For me personally, I think the Wipro app is a little more stronger in terms of the features it offers for the price point. On the other hand, if you're just looking for automation and just want a smart plug, well, you should go for the Cubo, because once you integrate it with Alexa or Google Home, I think it should work flawlessly without any problems. So at a price point, the Cubo is a better bet, but if you want a better app, then you can go for the Wipro. That's my recommendation. I hope you liked this video. If you did find this useful, please hit the like button. Do subscribe, share it with your friends who are looking for smart devices. I'll leave links in the description below. Once again, thank you so much for watching rTech. I shall see you on the next one. Bye-bye.